Now then, my guys, free-to-play gang or pay-to-win gang, whichever you are from. We are going to talk about Xuan in the Desolate lands, and I'm doing this obviously just to showcase how you can use your own Xuan to decimate content and to just obliterate the competition everywhere. So, in light of competitive spirit, I'm going to show you guys my Desolate land teams and all three of them, and I'm going to show you all of my stats as well. And I've beaten all my high scores with Xuan. So 27 million on Shadow Gale, 21 million on Shadow Stream, and 31 million on Shadow Fire. I mean, I have yet to really work on those because I haven't really been doing them. I just blitzed like 10 times and just, oh wow, I got a new high score. Wow, must be my lucky day today. Okay, but truthfully speaking, there are certain synergies that work really well with Xuan. And she's not necessarily going to replace Alice in some situations. So for example, in my Shadow Gale team, I am using both Xuan and Alice at the same time. They both work really well together because of what this comp is supposed to do. So I'm just going to run this and explain along the way. So I'll show like my stats somewhere on the screen as I'm talking so that I save a little bit of your time as well. So you guys already understand how this team works. If you do not yet know what I'm talking about, you can refer to like my previous Shadow Gale video where I talked about how putting Catherine up in front is like a really strong strat because you're going to remove all the debuffs on Catherine and then Ira is just going to continue focusing her buffs onto Chloe afterwards. It's a nuance. You should go ahead and watch the previous video that I did. Anyway, so Ira's buff, her Rising Government's Watch buff, that will increase the AP of the ally with that buff whenever any one of your allies attack or like take a turn or anything like that. So pursuit attacks, maybe not pursuit, but assist attacks and just assist attacks and turn taking will push your AP. So for example, whenever one of my allies take a turn, that will actually increase the AP of Catherine, right? And that includes the assist attacks that Alice and Xuan is able to grant whenever they take their turn. So Alice, whenever she uses her normal attack, there is a 30% chance that she will call in one random ally to move. That's going to push the AP of whichever ally has the Rising Government's Watch buff. The same goes for Xuan as well, but Xuan is obviously like a broken tier. Her general buff gives forces any ally to move whenever she takes a turn. It is insane. So whenever Xuan moves, she and another one ally will attack at the same time. This is like probably the most not talked about thing about her kit, which is her general buff. Like everyone just focus about her amplification and her insane AP pushing and like defense break and all that. Me included. Okay, I talk a lot about it, but the thing is her general buff that she has on herself is freaking broken for the Desolate lands. So this is why this team works. We have a lot of turn taking, a lot of like assisting, and it's pretty strong. So the thing is, when we watch the scoring stage, right, like right after this phase, you notice that it really goes bonkers. And right now our goal is to get rid of all the red little golden debuffs that Catherine has. So once we get rid of it, like all three more stacks left, then Chloe's gonna go nuts. She's gonna go absolutely insane. And there you go, that's about it, right? Yep, okay, so now Catherine has no more debuffs, which is perfect. So after the boss takes his turn, which is now, we are going to go into the scoring phase. And in this scoring phase, because Chloe is the first Esper in my lineup who still has some kind of debuff, Ira would only channel all of her Rising Government's Watch buff onto Chloe. Or rather, the Rising Government's Watch buff coming from her second skill. There you go, something like that. So now this is going to push Chloe's AP by a lot, and she's gonna spam really hard. Oh my god, look at the DPS, right? Just a normal day. Normal day with the horse and the cannon buff. 127k per hit. Like, who designed this shit? I mean, they nerfed it, but you know what's hilarious? All these gold buffs, they don't actually add to her DPS because they are not recorded as buffs. They are recorded as gold buffs, which is separate from buffs. So they're not going to improve the damage output of Chloe. They're not going to improve the like other stats of like other Espers that rely on buffs. Like I can't think of the top of my head right now, but yeah. So it's not going to affect the damage of Chloe. So her 127k per hit output is solely because of the amplification, which is 25%, plus the defense ignoring, which is honestly not much. The defense ignoring is really not much on this boss because I think these bosses don't have a lot of defense. 18 million, just like that, Shadow Gale. But of course, if you had Unas, right? I do not have Unas. If you had Unas, you are definitely going to score a lot better because you're going to take more turns, you're going to effectively cleanse off all the debuffs on your team, and you don't need to run like this comp. And my comp right now, I don't rely on clearing all the debuffs, so I'm not going to have like 18 times multiplier. Alright, now let's move on to Shadow Stream, which is surprisingly not my best scoring content thus far. So the way I'm running I'm running this team is also with both Xuan and Alice, and we are just channeling a lot of like assist attacks just so that we can push the AP of Li Guang. And the reason for pushing the AP of Li Guang, okay, this is probably not like the most optimal setup, but the reason why we are pushing the AP of Li Guang is so that she can use her third skill as much as possible to push the AP of the rest of like our team. And of course, whenever Li Guang assist attacks, she's going to increase her own AP by I think it's like 25%, something like that. Whatever it is, okay, let's take a look at the run. There's definitely a way to improve on this because we might be able to actually abuse the Anki Chai here. So we could actually consider removing Gaius. Actually, I think removing Gaius might help, but Gaius is probably our main DPS-ish. I'm actually not very sure, yeah, but I might be able to remove Gaius, replace him with Anki Chai. We might be able to perform a little bit better. I might just do a run later just to blitz it and see whether is our score good or not. But for the most part, this team is pretty good. It has a consistent EX++. I've never seen EX+ at all. So it's a very straightforward team. We're just pushing a lot of turns to basically my Li Guang so that the general, like the rest of my team can also take a lot of turns and effectively get 18 times multiplier. I mean, we do get 16 times multiplier at times, which will lower our average, that's for sure. But for the most part, we should be able to get 18 times multiplier most of the time. And of course, it's also quite important that we have both Meredith and Alice together because they both provide their own speed buffs. On one hand, Alice does extend the speed buff, but most importantly is that we have staggering speed buff so that at any given time, we should have a speed buff, which increases our speed. And of course, on top of that, right, we forgot to talk about this, but I have not actually witnessed it myself, but sometimes our Espers can enter the chariot buff phase because of what's her face? Xuan. Right, when you have 5 soldier stacks, you are going to convert that soldier stack into chariot, which means for I think the next 2 turns, your Esper is going to have 50% extra speed, which I'm not sure whether is it based on your total speed or like your base speed. Whichever it is still broken anyway. But of course, on top of that, you also gain like 10% extra DPS, which is very nice if it goes onto your DPS Espers. Okay, nice. We got 18 times multiplier over there. So that's it. And from here on, I think Gaius is probably going to be like the main DPS. So it's kind of sad that Gaius is not up at front right now. So I might have to change this line a little bit to... Yeah, I'm really not sure just yet. Here comes big DPS. Okay, decent. So that's with the horse buff, without the cannon, of course. If we had the cannon, Gaius will not be able to use his second skill. So that's a problem, because Gaius transforms in order to use his second skill. Yeah, and that will stun him because you don't have immunity here. And that is 15 million. Yeah, so Shadow Stream right now, there's definitely room to work on it. Like I said, probably going to replace Gaius with Anki Chai, because Gaius is honestly not doing a lot over here. He only attacked once. But with Anki Chai, we might be able to take a lot of turns and land a lot of DPS with Li Guang over there. So yeah. Okay, so for our final showcase, there is of course a very big disparity between the scores. So you might see 18 million, you might see 20 million, you might see 30 million. So let's see how good our run is. By the way, the way this team works is, this is just your typical Zora build with a Xuan twist to it. So instead of Alice, I'm just replacing the Alice with a Xuan here. So there is the Anki Chai abuse here for more cooldown reductions, just to channel a lot of cooldown reductions onto Chloe. Now the reason why Zora is here is whenever she assists at R6. So she has I think whenever one of your allies move or something like that, she's actually going to assist with her first skill. Yeah, there's a 15, see whenever allies attack, Zora has a 15% chance of assisting with Keen Edge. So this is actually going to push the Brazingermer's Watch buff that Ira has as well. So yeah, let's talk more action. Hey, I didn't make a that's what she said show. Okay, so same thing, speed up, buff, everything very important because we do not have the Alice, so we need the speed up buff from Meredith over here. And spamming skill reductions everywhere and just like throwing out a lot of Chloe's third skill. But also another important reason why Zora is here is because of the middle phase where there's a lot of the fiery eye things, right? Those little ads around the boss. Zora is here to clear that up because of her AoE DPS. Okay, and now that Zora is stunned, I know some of you guys might be asking that question, which is like, isn't that going to be a problem? Because if she stuns one of your allies, isn't that an issue? It is an issue, but the thing is, Ira will naturally target any stun allies that you have with her second skill. So maybe Ira can cleanse. Okay, she didn't manage to use it because she was on cooldown, I think. I'm not sure. But sometimes she will just throw her second skill to remove the stun on one of your allies. And of course, you can get an R2 Xuan, right? completely free to play, just need like 3 Shimmer records or 9,000 US dollars. And there you go, Zora with her third skill. She's possibly gonna... She didn't cleave. Oh wow. What? Oh, because she was stunned. Oh, because she was stunned by Xuanpin's attack. I see. But we still have enough turns, I think. I think Chloe is gonna be able to do the cleanup pretty nicely. Okay, this is actually probably one of our more risque runs. Because Zora was stunned twice. Oh no. Zora was stunned twice. This is... Okay, we are safe. But it's very unlucky that Zora was targeted by the cannon twice. Reason for that is the cannon, the second skill from Xuanpin is actually completely random. It doesn't follow any logic at all. Sometimes Xuanpin might use it on herself. And then she'll just get herself stunned. I mean, it is what it is, but that is hilarious. Now we will see the spam of Chloe. Insane. A lot of spams. Like, just take a look at the AP bar below where Chloe is just jumping all the way. And yeah, just take note that she's also really slow. So she's not supposed to move like that. But this run kind of sucks a little bit because we do not have the speed up buff. So we are actually underperforming a lot. Yeah, this is definitely one of our... Yeah, like I said, 18 million. This is this is a low roll run. Normally, we wouldn't be seeing 18 million. We will be seeing like somewhere closer to 30 million. And I think it's because of the speed up buff that we were not on, and probably like poor placement of the cannon buff and all that. So it's completely down to RNG. So it is what it is. So that's it for this video. Hope this helped you in some way if you're a Xuanpin owner. If you're not a Xuanpin owner, I hope you're not mouthing too bad because hey, I tried. I did my best. I mean, it's a good thing that they decided to nerf her by quite a significant amount for PvE at least. So like, just before the release, they dropped her amplification by 75%, which is always good to have. But I still feel like it's not really about touching her numbers all that much. I mean, that is one thing, but it's also because her kit is just overtuned. Like, the general buff that she has is overtuned. And it's just like, I'm not sure, it's just, there's so much jam-packed into a kit that it doesn't really make sense. Like, she is so unique in this regard of damage output, but we do not need someone who is so specialized to this level or like to this degree. It's insane. And we're not even using her defense break in this sense at all because the bosses are all immune, which further pushes the fact that she is just freaking broken. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Very Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next Xuanpin modding video.